is a novelist now, best known as a novelist now, and probably now best known as the novelist behind Maps to the Stars. But he was raised in Brentwood, I think, or in Beverly Hills, I think. His parents were involved in the entertainment business. He grew up around people like Tina Louise from Gilligan's Island. There were stories of that sort of thing being in his life. And then he became a limo driver.
Yeah, and he drove people like Orson Welles. He has great, incredible stories. I think there was a piece by him in, was it The Guardian?
Yeah,
it might have been in The Guardian. It's worth looking up on the net because his stories are incredible and just beautiful.
And so that gives the sort of the backstory to this. And Robert Pattinson told me when I interviewed him for this movie, he said when he first moved to Los Angeles, and this reminded me of this when you said there were no cell phones, we had to update as we went along. When he moved there were no cell phones, or people didn't have cameras on their phones anyway. And he said he would walk into bars like the Top of the Standard or somewhere like that, and there would be 14-year-olds like standing at the bar snorting cocaine off the bar, because if you were famous, you could do pretty much whatever you wanted. So kids, you know, on a sitcom or had been child stars had free reign of that town. And it's changed now. And I said, well, what do the kids do now? And he said, oh, they just do it at their parents' house now.
Yeah, you know, I mean, and John Cusack, who was a child star himself, said, you know, I was Benji. He said, you know, that he had some of those same experiences as a child star in Hollywood. So it's some of it's funny, some of it's sad, all of it's kind of true.
Does that play into your casting at all when you think John Cusack, he is, I mean, you know, he's been a big star for 25 years.
Well, casting is a black art. I mean, there's so many things you have to juggle. One of the things you have to juggle, which I'm sure none of you here has thought of, is the passport of the actor. You know, what passport does the actor have? Why would you think of that? Well, there's actually technically only one American actor in this movie, and that's John. Julie Moore has a British passport, her mother was Scottish. To do a Canada-Germany co-production, you can only have one actor who is not from the two countries, or at least the European Union. So these are all the strange things that go into casting. No, you don't really have the luxury of saying, I'll only cast somebody whose actual life fits the character. You can't do that at all. So that wasn't really part of it at all. I mean, you need some names to get financing. I had talked to Julia Moore about this movie 8 years ago in New York, and then I couldn't get the movie made. She said she would do it, and then I came back to her 8 years later, and I said, Julie, you know, what about this movie? She said, yeah, I'm here.
The woman who plays the agent, Havana Grand's agent, I thought you would pluck her out of, you know, the offices of CAA or something. I mean, she is perfect in this. Yeah. But she's from Toronto, right? She's a Toronto.
She's from Toronto, Dawn Greenhall, and she's an actress who I've seen for years, and she's a wonderful actress. But there are a couple of older woman agents in LA who are exactly like her, and her portrayal is absolutely spot on. And everybody in LA knows the names of those agent ladies.